In the boundless expanse where fate bends beneath the will of cultivators, the winds of destiny stir once more. The path of immortality is never gentle. Each step forward is carved through blood, resolve, and the silent echoes of fallen rivals. Previously, the storm surrounding Wang Lin deepened, as hidden forces began to reveal their claws and ancient grudges resurfaced from the shadows. Loyalties waver, enemies gather, and the fragile balance between life and death teeters on the edge of collapse. Now, in recap, Renegade Immortal 505-506, the heavens themselves seem to hold their breath. What schemes unfold behind veils of deception? What price must be paid for power that defies the natural order? As the next chapter begins, steel your heart, for in this tale of cultivation and vengeance, every choice may echo across eternity. Before the winds of fate stir, before a single step reshapes destiny, one must understand the land upon which legends are written. Far across the vast starry expanse, there exists a cultivation world known as Planet Tianyun, a world of power, a world of fear, a world where even among rank 7 cultivation planets, it stands at the very peak. And the reason lies in a single name, the All-Seer, a sage whose wisdom pierces heaven and earth, a figure whose authority reaches into the cultivation alliance itself, a being so revered that few dare to provoke him. Under normal circumstances, a rank 7 cultivation planet would command countless rank 6 worlds beneath it, using them as pillars to strengthen its dominion. But Tianyun is different. It stands alone in a strange balance. Only 5 planets circle it: heaven, earth, human, life, fate. Each one a rank 6 cultivation world. Each one bound to Tianyun through a massive transfer formation. Yet that formation, though connecting worlds, is rarely activated because the price is far too great. And beyond those 5, there are even more scattered planets, smaller, quieter, each belonging to ancient monsters who have long withdrawn from the world. Their formations remain sealed, silent, dormant, as though the universe itself holds its breath. At the far eastern edge of planet Tianyun, there exists a formation unlike any other, a colossal transfer array, 5 kilometers wide, ancient, complex, alive in a way words could barely describe. This formation was under the control of the Heavenly Fate Sect, and year-round it was guarded. One such guardian was Xianxia. Morning light had only just begun to touch the horizon. Xianxia sat outside the array, cross-legged, unmoving, like a statue carved by time itself. He had been there since dawn, and now, slowly, he opened his eyes. A long breath escaped his lips. Just 3 more months. His voice was quiet, calm, yet beneath it, a trace of anticipation stirred. In 3 months, someone will replace me. When I return, I'll enter seclusion. Several years, no distractions, no interruptions. I must break through. Late-stage soul formation. A faint gleam appeared in his eyes. If I succeed, I'll apply to leave the sect, to travel, to seek fortune, to obtain celestial jades, and if fate allows. His breath paused. I might step into soul transformation. For a moment, his gaze drifted, far, distant, filled with yearning. Xianxia had cultivated for 700 years. He stood now at the mid-stage of soul formation, not extraordinary, but not insignificant either, and more importantly, he was a disciple of the Heavenly Fate Sect. On planet Tianyun, that title alone was enough to command respect. Wherever he walked, people bowed, people admired, people feared, and yet a bitter smile crept across his face. Luck, he murmured softly. My luck has never been good. If I had been like those ancestors, chosen directly by the founding ancestor, everything would have been different. His voice grew quieter, almost wistful. Since I was a child, I dreamed of reaching the ascendant stage, to claim a planet as my own cultivation ground. That would truly be the greatest joy in this world. The wind passed, carrying away his words. Xianxia exhaled, steadying himself. He was about to close his eyes once more, to return to cultivation. But then, something changed. A sound, sharp, violent, like the heavens themselves tearing apart. A streak of purple light ripped across the sky. Fast, unimaginably fast. It broke through the sound barrier, closing the distance in an instant. 10,000 feet, and shrinking. Xiaoxi's eyes sharpened. His expression turned cold. He did not rise. He did not panic. He simply watched, because this place saw travelers every day. Cultivators passing through, powerful figures crossing worlds. Even those stronger than him. He did not fear, because he carried the name of the Heavenly Fate Sect, and that name was enough. The sun began to rise. Golden light spilled across the land, and within that light, the purple streak slowed, gradually, until a figure appeared within it. Long hair flowed behind him, unbound, like a banner of wild intent. A purple robe draped his body, calm, silent, yet carrying an indescribable pressure. In a single step, he arrived 10 feet before Xiaoxi, and then he looked, cold, unyielding. Xiaoxi's gaze instinctively dropped to the token at the man's waist, and in that instant, his entire body trembled. Carved upon that token was a single number, 7. His mind exploded. Without hesitation, he stood, lowered his head deeply, his voice filled with absolute respect. Green Division 5th Generation Disciple Zhao Si greets the Purple Division's 7th ancestor. His heart pounded wildly. Because he knew exactly who stood before him. Though he had never seen the man, the rumors, the countless whispers had long reached his ears. The All-Seer's newest disciple. The 7th of the Purple Division, Wang Lin, a name that had shaken the sect. A man who, upon arrival, turned the Purple Division upside down. He had slain the second senior brother without mercy, then stepped into the battle for the title of true disciple. Mid-stage soul transformation against a late-stage opponent. And he won. But that wasn't all. No, that was only the beginning. The 6th senior brother, an ascendant cultivator, returned, and a great battle erupted. Though Wang Lin was defeated, everything changed after that. The way the disciples saw him, the way they spoke his name. 3 killing spells, a terrifying demonic aura, an overwhelming presence that defied reason, and more importantly, a temper, cold, ruthless, unforgiving. A man who would kill without hesitation if provoked. Xiaoxi's back grew damp with cold sweat, yet he did not dare lift his head, not even slightly. Open the formation. Wang Lin's voice was calm, flat. Destination, Earth planet. Without waiting, he stepped forward, passing Xiaoxi as if he were air, and entered the formation directly. From above, the array was monstrous, spanning 5 kilometers, covered in countless intricate symbols, each one pulsing with ancient power. Mist drifted across it, thick, dense, obscuring its true form. Within its boundaries, ravines carved through the land, endless, intertwining, like rivers flowing toward a hidden ocean. Energy surged through them, mysterious, alive. The entire formation did not resemble a mere tool. It felt like a primal beast, sleeping, waiting. Even Wang Lin, who had seen countless arrays, could not help but recognize this one surpassed them all. Behind him, Xiaoxi inhaled sharply. He did not delay. His hands moved, forming seals. A beam of green light shot forward, entering the array. And then, the world trembled. A deep rumble echoed. Heaven and earth seemed to shake. The energy within the ravines surged outward. A ghostly glow spread across the land. If one looked from the sky, they would see it. Lines of light igniting, connecting, forming a massive symbol, 5 kilometers wide, unfathomably complex. And at its center, Wang Lin stood, still, unmoving, like the eye of a storm. In the blink of an eye, the symbol erupted. Blinding light consumed everything, the sky, the land, all swallowed by a ghostly radiance. Xiaoxi closed his eyes. He was used to this. 5 seconds passed, no more, no less. Then he opened them. Silence. The formation was empty. Wang Lin was gone. Only faint motes of ghostly light remained, floating, drifting, like fireflies returning to their resting place within the ravines. Xiaoxi stared. Envy flickered in his eyes. Then a sigh. I wonder what the Purple Division's 7th ancestor seeks on Earth planet? He shook his head, dismissing the thought. It's not my concern. What matters is my own cultivation. I must reach late-stage soul formation as soon as possible. He sat once more, closed his eyes, and returned to stillness. Far away, across the void, lies Earth planet, one of the 5 worlds orbiting Tianyun. From afar, its surface glowed with an earthy yellow hue. Halos drifted across it, endless, mysterious. Its size comparable to planet Suzaku. Upon this world, there existed only one rank 6 cultivation country, Xuanyuan, a sect that ruled like a kingdom. Its cultivators numbered beyond counting, and its ancestor, Xuanming, had already surpassed the ascendant stage. The land was vast, seas were few, earth dominated everything. To the west, millions of miles away, lay Lingyue, a rank 5 cultivation country. And on this day, near the transfer array of the Xuanyuan sect, the area had been cleared empty, silent. Only sect disciples remained within dozens of meters, standing guard, waiting. At the forefront stood a man, Xu Yunshan, the junior sect master. A treasured fan rested in his hand. From time to time, he tapped it lightly against his palm, his expression calm, but his eyes sharp. 3 days ago, he had received news from a friend within the Heavenly Fate sect. A messenger from the Purple Division would arrive. Normally, such matters meant little to him, but this time was different. Because the one coming was Wang Lin, the seventh disciple, the All-Seer's newest student, a man who had drawn the All-Seer's attention during the birthday celebration, a man whose origins were unknown, a man whose potential was undeniable. The Shuangyan sect had records, detailed records of every disciple under the All-Seer, their habits, their preferences, their temperaments. But Wang Lin was a mystery. And in the world of cultivation, mystery meant danger. But also, opportunity. Xianxia had made his decision. Better to build a connection now than regret it later. Behind him, several elders stood, white-haired, silent, each one among the strongest in the sect. Time passed slowly. The sun climbed until it reached its peak, noon. And then, the formation stirred. A deep rumble spread across the land. Xianxia's eyes lit up. He closed his fan. A smile appeared. His gaze locked onto the array. The rumbling grew louder, stronger. Ghostly light burst from the ground, rising, spreading, forming an enormous illusionary symbol. At its center, space twisted, bent, distorted, and then a figure emerged. Step by step, calm, unhurried, clad in purple. At his waist, a token, and carved upon it, the number 7. Wang Lin had arrived. What if the greatest power in the heavens could only be awakened through slaughter? What if the path to invincibility demanded rivers of blood? And what if, standing at the edge of that path, was a man who could not afford to hesitate? The moment the formation beneath him faded into nothingness, Wang Lin stepped forward from its remnants. The symbol hovering above the array dissolved like mist under sunlight. He did not rush. He did not hesitate. He simply walked out, as if he had always belonged here. His eyes swept the surroundings calmly, steady, unreadable, until they came to rest on one man, Xianxia. At that instant, Xianxia's gaze sharpened. Then, as if amused by what he saw, he broke into laughter. "So," he said, voice light but probing, "you must be Wang Lin?" The disciple personally accepted by the All-Seer? Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged. He brought his hands together in a respectful gesture. "I am," he replied evenly. "And you are?" Xianxia smiled, his demeanor warm and open. "I am Xianxia," he said, "junior sect master of the Shuanyuan sect from this planet." He paused briefly, then added with a courteous tone, "I've come to fulfill my duty as host. Brother Wang, please don't decline." Wang Lin allowed a faint smile to surface. "Then I'll trouble Brother Xu." Though his voice was polite, his thoughts remained clear and measured. Xianxia's cultivation, mid-stage soul transformation, the same as his own. Wang Lin had not come here seeking company. He had left the Heavenly Fate sect for one reason: peace. That place was a battlefield disguised as a sect. Competition, schemes, endless struggle, not a place to quietly pursue the Tao. And now, newly arrived on this unfamiliar planet, refusing hospitality outright would only bring unnecessary complications. So, he accepted. Xianxia proved to be an excellent host. Along the way, he spoke freely, introducing the conditions of the planet, its structure, its factions. His tone was lively, his knowledge thorough. By the time they reached their destination, he had already arranged a residence for Wang Lin, a place serene and refined, elegant, secluded, perfect for cultivation. After setting a time to meet again the following day, Xianxia departed without lingering. Silence returned. The environment here was tranquil, almost too tranquil. Wang Lin stepped into the room. He opened the window. Outside, a sea of delicate flowers stretched endlessly, each one blooming with quiet defiance, competing for beauty beneath the sky. He watched them. Then, without a word, he stepped outside. Slowly, he walked into the garden. The fragrance of blossoms filled the air, yet his thoughts were anything but peaceful. The most important thing now is to raise my cultivation. His eyes darkened slightly. Though I've left planet Suzaku for several years, Tuo-sen is still there, like a blade hanging over his neck, unseen, unavoidable. At any moment, it could fall. He can leave the land of the ancient god at any time. And when he does, he will come for me. Wang Lin's brows furrowed. This matter. It was like a fishbone lodged deep in his throat, impossible to ignore, impossible to remove. An invisible force constantly driving him forward, forcing him to grow stronger, forcing him to survive. He lowered his gaze, looking once more at the blooming flowers. But now his mind had already turned inward. Celestial slaughter art. He recalled what he had glimpsed during his journey. A truly exquisite technique. To condense life force into seals. To layer them upon the body. A defense that could rival the heavens themselves. His thoughts shifted. The heaven-defying bead is still incomplete. The metal element is missing. That must be resolved, and soon. Sichunan's words echoed faintly in his mind. Only when the 5 elements were complete would the bead acknowledge its true master, and only then would its real power awaken. But Wang Lin's eyes flickered. What kind of power is it that could make the Cultivation Alliance fight so fiercely over it? Silence. Then his gaze lifted, piercing the sky, crossing an immeasurable distance, as though it could reach beyond space itself, to a distant place, planet Suzaku. I wonder what's happening there now. Time passed. 2 days later, Xianxia returned. He personally guided Wang Lin toward a rank 5 cultivation country, Lingyu. During those 2 days, Xianxia remained as talkative as ever. Gradually, the distance between them lessened. They spoke freely, walked together. Their rapport grew naturally. Meanwhile, Lingyu had already received word. A core disciple from the Purple Division was arriving as a messenger. The entire country mobilized. Preparations were made. Everything to receive him. At the border of Lingyu, Xianxia smiled faintly. Brother Wang, he said, gesturing forward, this is Lingyu, a rank 5 cultivation country. Not very large, only 4 sects. But its spirit items are renowned across the entire planet. Wang Lin nodded. Without pause, the two moved forward. Their speed was astonishing. In the blink of an eye, they crossed the border, entering Lingyu. At its center stood a towering structure, a heaven-ascending tower. This was where all messengers resided. Below it, more than 100 cultivators stood waiting, silent, respectful, anticipating. Then, from the distant horizon, 2 streaks of light tore through the sky, breaking the sound barrier, descending. At that moment, every cultivator below raised their heads. As the 2 figures approached, voices rang out in unison. The cultivators of Lingyu greet the Heavenly Fate Sect's Lord Messenger and the Xuanyuan Sect's Junior Sect Master. Xianxia laughed heartily. Well then, Brother Wang, I'll take my leave. If fate allows, we'll drink and talk again. With that, he turned and vanished into the distance, leaving Wang Lin alone in the sky. He floated silently, his gaze descended upon the crowd below. Among the 100 cultivators, 10 stood at the peak, late-stage soul transformation. The rest, weaker, but among them, one stood out, white hair, aged, silent, his cultivation half a step into the ascendant stage. Wang Lin's eyes lingered for a brief moment. Then, he descended, landing at the base of the tower. Before anyone could speak, his voice rang out, calm, authoritative. I may be the messenger, but I require nothing from you. Continue your affairs as before. I will enter closed-door cultivation. No one is allowed within 5,000 kilometers of this place. Silence. Shock rippled through the crowd. But these were seasoned cultivators, old, cunning. After a moment of surprise, they quickly composed themselves. One by one, they dispersed. The white-haired old man studied Wang Lin carefully, then left. The others followed. In mere moments, the entire area emptied. Only Wang Lin remained, unmoved. He waved his sleeve, turned, and stepped into the tower. Inside, he sat down, cross-legged. Without delay, he struck his storage bag. A restriction flag appeared. With a single shake, black gas erupted, rushing outward, expanding. In an instant, it engulfed a radius of 5,000 kilometers. A dark fog descended, heavy, gloomy, oppressive. The entire region became forbidden. Wang Lin was not done. He paused briefly, then raised his hand, striking his forehead. From his mouth, a 30-foot-long soul flag emerged. Though diminished, though incomplete, the 1 billion soul flag still contained several powerful primary souls. With a flick, he released them. They scattered into the black fog, guardians, predators. Enhancing the defense, only one soul remained untouched, the Qilin fragment. Too troublesome to release. After everything was set, Wang Lin took a deep breath. Then, with a wave of his hand, a piece of jade appeared, gray, ordinary in appearance. Yet, it contained something extraordinary, the celestial slaughter art. Celestial slaughter art, his eyes lit with intensity. His divine sense surged forward. Entering the jade, time passed, days turned to weeks. Weeks turned into a month. Outside, Lingyu grew restless. Something was wrong. Normally, messengers demanded tribute, spirit stones, celestial jades. It was tradition, it was expected. But this one did nothing. For an entire month, he never stepped out. And the black fog surrounding the tower made even approaching it terrifying. Some soul transformation cultivators dared to investigate, but after advancing a mere 1,000 feet, they fled, faces pale, eyes filled with fear. The messenger became a mystery, a shadow, an unknown. Inside the tower, Wang Lin remained unchanged. Seated, still, for an entire month, he studied. The celestial slaughter art was no ordinary technique. It was built upon life force seals, profound, complex, difficult beyond measure. Wang Lin's talent was never exceptional, so he advanced slowly, carefully. Step by step, he knew. This was not something that could be rushed. Then, another half-month passed. Curiosity in Lingyu only deepened, because now, the fog changed. It was no longer silent. Whistling sounds echoed. Like countless flying swords slicing through the air, thunder roared, shaking the heavens. Something was happening inside. Finally, the white-haired old man moved. He entered the fog. 3 days later, he returned, his face pale, eyes filled with shock. From that moment on, an order spread across all sects. No disciple may approach within 5,000 kilometers of the tower. Violators will be treated as traitors. And so, the region became forbidden, untouchable. Meanwhile, inside the tower, Wang Lin reached a limit, 1.5 months. Yet still, he could not grasp the essence. At last, he stopped. This path cannot be forced. He changed direction, turning instead to comprehension of the heavens, refining his existing spells. During this time, a backlash occurred. The war chariot, it rebelled. This was the first backlash since he broke its seal, but Wang Lin was prepared for days. They clashed, until finally, using a secret technique, he suppressed it. The beast failed. During this event, the white-haired old man had witnessed it, the unyielding spirit beast. Afterward, Wang Lin resumed cultivation. Days passed. Then, one day, his eyes snapped open. A spark of realization burned within. I see. The celestial slaughter art must be understood through slaughter. Sitting here is not enough. If I want to cultivate this, then it must begin with killing. His eyes gleamed, sharp, resolute. Without hesitation, he stood, took one step, and vanished from the tower. The path ahead had been decided, and it would be paved with blood.